Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to another LinkedIn Live. Today, I'm talking about getting off of Stuck Street. If you have found yourself stuck on Stuck Street, I've got a client that I was working with, and a few weeks ago, we were having these discussions about the customer service team, the operations team, and the sales team, and the challenges that they were having moving things forward. The challenges between the customer service team finding that the right data wasn't in the database that they need to do the things that they need to do, which then frustrated the sales team because the sales team is looking at it and saying, why aren't our products being shipped and why aren't things happening and why is customer service not doing their job, right? But then what would happen is that the sales team would get really frustrated and look at things through their perspective, through their lens about we just have to do sales. We have to be out there. We have to be selling to our customers, and the customer service team needs to take and do the operations stuff to help our customers execute. But there was frustration on both sides. There was also frustration in the customer service department by looking at things through the lens of, if I don't have the right data from the customer service team and from the customers, then I have to spend a lot of time tracking down the right pricing and entering things in wrong and giving rebates when things don't happen the way they're supposed to, or missing rebates that are supposed to be paid out, that then the customer gets frustrated and calls the salesperson again. And so when we think about these cycles of processes that happen within organizations, this is the real life that most organizations experience. The frustration between the handoffs from the marketing team to the sales team, to the operations team, back to the sales team, all of these things that happen across your organization. And this is where most clients, most companies are finding themselves stuck on Stuck Street, where we've got these processes, which are actually cycles. And the misalignment of people and process leads to incredible amounts of frustration within your organization. So if this concept, if this idea, if this concept or idea rings true to you, one of the things I want you to think about is to stop thinking about processes in isolation for a specific role, for a specific department, for a specific task. The thing that I want you to think about is first starting with the customer journey or the value stream of what needs to happen along the process, and then looking for those gaps, looking for those problems that are happening in the handoffs and solving those with processes. And I've been finding this over and over and over again with our clients that it's often not the individual tasks not being done by an individual, but it's often the context of the handoffs and what happens when I don't do the things that I'm supposed to do in the right way. What's the output? What's the effect? What's the impact? And so we've been helping companies to get off of Stuck Street, looking at this through a new lens. And that's what we call optics. The word optics has two meanings. If you look in the dictionary, the word optics has two meanings. One of them is very technical. It's the study of light. It's the lens. It's the focus. It's the alignment. It's all of these wavelengths of light. There's very technical components of optics. The second word or second definition of the word optics is the perception of people who look at things and how they perceive things. And this is why this word has become the thing that me and my team focus on every day, is the alignment of people and process. Because you see, when I look at things only through the perspective of being a customer service person, and I say, well, why doesn't the sales team just get the information into the database correctly? Why doesn't the client submit things exactly right the way they're supposed to be on their purchase order so we can do our job easier? Why doesn't our manufacturer that we're distributing for provide us all of the right details and all of the right things and all of the updates? And why doesn't that flow through the process? When I look at it through the eyes of customer service, this is what I see. When I look at it through the eyes of operations and how things work, and that frustration builds because not only am I not getting the right information is not coming into my system and helping me to be successful, but I'm also getting criticized for not doing my job. Now, sometimes people say, well, salespeople, they've got it easy, right? No, that's not true either. If I look at the optics through the lens of the sales team, right? The sales team is under pressure to get more sales, to go out there, to have relationships, to build relationships, to make X number of phone calls per day, to develop relationship. Why is this customer not bought as much last month as they did the previous month? And right there's pressures under the sales team to make sure that they're focused on making sure that all the right things are happening for their customers, and so that pressure then bleeds over to other departments. So what I want us all to be thinking about today is that optics is the clarity that we get by looking at the handoffs that happen between the departments in your organization. Do they have a common purpose, a common vision? Is everybody working in the same way? And is there alignment between the processes that are happening in your organization and the people who have to do those processes, and the people's attitudes and behaviors and concepts and perceptions of those processes that need to happen? And this is really the way that you get off of Stuck Street, is when you stop thinking in isolation inside of a department and saying, our processes are right, but my processes would work if only ... We fill in the blank. My processes would work if only ... When we start to think about this in the context of the system that goes horizontal rather than the process that goes vertical within our group or within our area of focus, that's the moment when things really start to change. That's the moment when we can really get optics, when we can really get clarity, when we can really get alignment, when we can really get everyone focused and working together on the same team, on the same wavelength. So this is what gets me really excited as I think about all of these different organizations that we're working with, and the challenges in every organization between your tooling design people and the tooling development people and the sales people and the customer. And right, when we look at that vision across all of those elements of what needs to work for your system to work, that's what the optics system is all about, is helping you to identify those areas where the handoffs are breaking down, where certain tasks are being done or not being done. Why aren't they being done? Or why are they being done incorrectly? Or why do we have to do that process if we only could fix something in another area of our system? And that's the thing that's going to help you get off of Stuck Street. Whoa, see it upside down. Help you get off of Stuck Street, helping your organization to move in a new direction, to do the things that you want to do, to break down those barriers and start making things work. And that's what we get super excited about. So anybody who's interested, I would be really interested to hear some stories about where you've been on Stuck Street. Where have been some things that have challenged you between departments in your organization? Or where have been some situations where a customer and there's been a misalignment between your customer and your operations, and making sure that all these things are flowing well together? Super excited to hear some of these things in the comments. If you've experienced similar things, most people that I talk to in most organizations have experienced this in one way or another. The challenge of, I just want to be able to do my job efficiently, but I can't because I fill in the dots. I would follow the process the way it's written if I could, but I can't because fill in the dots. These types of things are happening in your organization. And the larger you get, the more complexity happens within your organization, the more that this type of thing happens. But even for small companies, as we look at the alignment and expectations of what different people are supposed to be doing, how they're supposed to be doing it, why they're supposed to be doing it, this piece of what you do is something that you really need to be thinking about as your organization's growing. If you want to scale, you need that alignment between people and process. And that's what we call the optic system. So hope you all have an amazing week. Glad you were able to join us. Look forward to seeing you next time.